The last guy here in segment four we got is a guy that is coming into his sophomore season. He has a documentary out on the Pistons YouTube channel. If you want to go check it out, go check it out. If not, you're not missing much. But Valley, talk to us about Marcus Sasser.
Yeah, Marcus Sasser got in trouble a little at times during his rookie year. Really streaky guy. Over his rookie year, averaged 8 points, 1.8 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 42% from the field, 37.5 from deep. Pretty good on paper. But I think a big thing is that streakiness. We see the lows and we see the highs. Specifically those highs that game in Milwaukee where Marcus Sasser was unconscious, seemed to keep him really confident for a while. But then he goes to these periods of time of barely scoring the ball, and with his shot tendency, where he likes to really step back a lot of the time, I think that just is a recipe for disaster. Um, but just based off of his rookie year, ignoring this summer, I had a lot of optimism for him because when you're looking at our roster, he's more than likely the backup point guard. There's not another point guard on the roster if we're starting Ivy and Cade together. And yes, they'll stagger, but you need a backup point guard. And on paper, that's him. But then you look at his summer league stats where he averaged 12 points a game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists on 33% shooting and 25% shooting from deep. Yeah, it's a relatively small sample size, but what would have further continued my optimism is to see him just bully that. Like we saw KCP when he was a Piston absolutely tear up the summer league. I would honestly was hoping for 20, 25 a game in this summer league, just cooking players. But I think I saw a lot of the same things where he has that hesitancy a lot, where he keeps stepping back and waiting for that shot. And that's been his game throughout his whole career, going back to his colleges as well as that step back three. But I'm just not sold. And I'm at the point where the question for me is Sasser good enough to be the backup point guard for an 82 game season? If not, do we need to add another veteran point guard on this roster? Because at the moment in time, I do think we do. I don't think we have enough leadership and veteran experience in the guard position. Cade, Ivy, Sasser, obviously also young. Sasser was a 4 year player, but which kind of goes into my point again of why'd you have such a poor summer league? I was really hoping he would dominate that summer league. But the streakiness and the confidence, I think, is just a major concern for me. I have some more of my expectations, but what do you guys think about Sasser?
He didn't prove anything new past his rookie season this year. We all kind of hoped he'd be too good for that league. That was
Uh,
not true. um, yeah, the question of whether he's good enough to be a backup point guard, is he good enough to be in the NBA period? I think especially with this new regime, they're gonna have no problem, cutting him loose if he's not at that level. And I think we could just see him be out and like you said, Valley, I don't know, point guard X come into the team like a Tyus Jones or that type of player. Um, I do hope he just starts tucking up those threes, like you said. He's a good shooter. He's streaky, but he's a good shooter. I don't think he's a point guard. I think he's more of a small two guard, which is why I think the Ivy staggering would be good. But yeah, that's really all for me.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't think he's a point guard. I think he is a two guard. I just want to see him come in. I just want to see him come in and shoot. Just like don't hesitate. Go to your spot, get to your spot and shoot. And hopefully the results will soon follow. I know Connie, you're not the biggest Marcus Sasser supporter and you got a little to say, so just whatever you got, throw it out there.
I don't want to just hate for hate's sake. I think in the summer league they were definitely trying to make him a point guard, one of the
Mm-hmm.
there, and it just didn't look the best. I mean, his strong suit I think is definitely like getting the bucket, shooting the shot, and he had some like very nice streaks last year, but I don't know, small, non like ball handling, shooting too. So it's just a tough niche to fill. Like it's just a tough niche to fill, and unless he shows some things in either a variety of like even becoming a better shooter or being able to do some stuff with the ball in his hand, there's guys that played on the Pistons last year that might not be NBA players.
I posed one question. I'm pretty sure we're all going to have the same answer. If you had to choose probably a third tertiary type ball handler guy, are you guys taking Asar Thompson or Marcus Sasser?
I'm still taking Marcus Sasser.
Okay.
Wait, sorry. Repeat as a ball handler guy?
Yeah, if you had needed a third guy, like super rare, not that often. It's Cade, it's Ivy most of the time, but after that, who are you taking? Asar Thompson or Marcus Sasser?
Tim Hardaway Jr. Asar Thompson.
Yeah, same.
Want to see
That's who I would take.
you because he has such a unique mind and like the way that he plays basketball. I'd like to see what he can do.
And there are lots of passes if you go and look at highlights from last year that you're like, okay, he can make those passes. They're slick passes. So I would still say Asar Thompson. But I kick it back to you, Valley, to close out this Marcus Sasser segment before we move into our final segment.
And I would like to take this moment to shout out my good friend Anvit Rao. He is the #1 Marcus Sasser fan. He owns a Marcus Sasser jersey. He went to Penn and he went to the game in Philly against Pistons Sixers in Philly and repped his jersey and got a lot of criticism for it for some reason. But shout out to Anvit, big Pistons fan, huge Lions fan. Reps the pod, reps Marcus Sasser. But going into my expectations from the season, like the needs of what he needs to do, 3-point volume, 3.8 attempts per game from deep last season, not enough. Learn to catch and shoot. You can't just be on these step backs, you know. Consistency, confidence, be a spark off the bench, 8 to 12 points per game. Establish yourself as a bench player.
I love it. I love it. There's that word again, confidence. We heard it so many years in Killian Hayes. The word returns for Marcus Sasser. We're going to move into our
That's
final.
not a good sign.
No, no, it is not.